Also, I'm going to be making you the main part of the recording. So it depends on what view you're on. Like if you can see, if you put it on the view where you can see participants, you'll see me, but I'm going to mute myself. Otherwise, it's going to keep going back and forth by me laughing and making sounds.
Right.
So I seem really quiet. It's because I've muted myself because I want you to be on the camera.
Got it. That makes sense. It swaps the screen out, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. So that makes sense.
So
okay.
I'm going to pin you. And yes, you are pinned. We are live on Facebook. Hi, Facebook.
Hello.
I'm going to hit record. Should I record to the computer or yes, I'll record to the computer. So hi everybody. I'm just going to change the view for 2 seconds. This is the amazing Mandeep Kaur. She is absolutely amazing. I love her so much. Mandeep, do you just want to introduce yourself and share with everybody who you are and what you do?
Hello everyone. I am a personal freedom coach and I support strong-minded men and women to fuck off outdated cultural conditioning and achieve self-liberation and more personal freedom in their lives. Yes.
I love that so much. I love that so much. And so I'm just going to be interviewing Mandeep about her experience working with me and what it's been like. So feel free to comment down below if you have any questions for Mandeep. Feel free to connect with her or ask her down below. So I'm just going to change the view. Okay. All right, my love. So I'd love to know, how would you describe Nina as a person? What is it like to work with me?
So much fun. Just fun. That's it. That's the biggest the first word that springs to mind, because I when I left my career before I decided to become a coach, I made a commitment to myself that I was not going to do anything that wasn't fun. I left a really lucrative career because it just was not doing it for me anymore. And I was committed, in that whatever the struggle was going to be, it has to be fun. And that is why, after connecting with Nina a few times, I decided that I wanted to work with her, because if you're having fun, the results will come. Oh, I just made that up. Damn girl. Okay, yes. It's so true when you're in that positive, it takes so much less activation energy to get into a good state and have positive vibes and be, hold an energy field where you're calling in more clients if you're having fun to begin with anyway. So that is why having fun is so important, and that's what we do. We have so much fun on our calls.
I love that. Can you share with everybody, what were some of your results in your business before working with me?
Nada. Nada. I'd done a couple of programs that support coaches get their first few clients. And for me, it had value, but a lot of the things that we were taught were very generic, and it either didn't suit my style or I didn't totally understand why I was supposed to do things that way. And then that would result in me questioning myself and my process. And then, of course, self-doubt kicks in, and that's the thing that you don't want, right? And with a lot of the things that I was doing before, it was doing it for the sake of it, not really fully understanding the outcome. I was doing it because I was told to do it. And then not having someone to explain or take me through that process or give me some understanding. It was a big thing that I was missing. So I was kind of going through, to an extent, there is an element of going through the process and working it out and tweaking things here and tweaking things there, but it was just taking too long, and I hadn't had any paying clients, and I was like, I was so ready to get paid, but not understanding why that wasn't happening.
So with I think that's one of the biggest challenges for a lot of coaches starting out, right? Is how do I even just get my first client? How do I get paid? I've done these programs and these courses, and why do I still not have any clients? And so just to bridge that gap a little bit, when you were in that space, what made you decide to work with me, and to what did you need to move through in order for you to see that it was possible for you to be able to get clients working with me?
So something that I was advised to do to bridge that gap through, again, another program that I did, was to take on pro bono clients. It didn't work for me. I'm trying to keep as clean as possible, Nina. I should have checked this with you before.
You did not.
Okay.
It's all good.
I fucking hated it. I hated it. And then I started again hating what I was doing. And then again brings you into self-doubt. Hang on, am I doing the right thing? I wanted to do this for fun. And because I enjoy helping people and coaching people. And the advice and the suggestion that I had was to start off with pro bono clients to gain more confidence, and it just does not work. It does not work because of human nature more than anything. And it was nothing to do with the clients, but they were just not committed in the same way that a paying client would be. At a time, I didn't understand that concept of being matched energetically, and they weren't getting results because of this issue with commitment, or not the results that I knew they really could have. And then again, self-doubt kicking in. There were so many things that I was trying, and that really brought me down a notch working with pro bono clients.
So how did you know that you wanted to work with me when you were in that space?
Simply, I was ready to get paid. I was ready to get paid and serve properly. I didn't know it at the time, but in getting paid, that made me level up my game as well. And I brought more to the table, and I served better once that started happening. But I was almost stuck in a loop beforehand where I wasn't, I was having a client come to me, a pro bono client, because the commitment wasn't there, the work wasn't being done. I was getting frustrated, and at times, again, for human nature, a natural resentment builds up. You start questioning whether you should be working with clients. That feeds into the self-doubt. That comes out in your coaching sessions if you're not very, very careful. It's almost inevitable that it's going to seep in. And boundary management was really difficult for me at that time as well. Oh my God. That was real struggle, because I wanted to give. And I was like, if I give more, they'll get more out. But I was just giving more and getting exhausted, and then going back into this loop of more resentment, feeding that energy back into the client. And it was not working.
In the awareness of where you were at almost 6 months ago, right? So part of the challenge is seeing how much we've grown. So I've been working with Mandeep for almost 6 months now. So
yeah,
I think it's a bit challenging sometimes for her to see how much she's grown. But in your awareness with where you were at 6 months ago, when you were starting to doubt yourself, when you didn't know what you were doing that wasn't working, other than knowing that you wanted to get paid, what was that deciding factor where you thought, I believe that Nina's going to be the one that's going to help me? Because I think there's a lot of coaches who have invested a lot of money with other mentors and other programs, and they haven't gotten the results. So what did you do, and what made you decide that you're going to invest in yourself again?
Oh my God, just you asking me that question is taking me back to that moment and remembering how shit scared I was. So there were a couple of things. One was that I have a friend who had done the same programs that I'd done, and Nina was recommended, and I trust this friend. I'm so glad I trusted her at that time, because she done that and then got paying clients with Nina. The other thing was you provided so much value in your free masterclass. So I attended a 3-hour online masterclass that Nina had done at the time, and there was so much value in that. And I thought, if she's done this for free for 3 hours, what am I going to get when I'm paying her properly, and how far am I going to come within that? And I think the class itself was so much fun, and I knew then that, okay, yeah, this is my girl. I think a lot of other clients that I've worked, a lot of other coaches that I've worked with are almost more towards the business end of things, in the sense that they're also from corporate backgrounds and have a very corporate mindset, and that's where I've come from as well, and it's exactly what I wanted to get out of. And that's not to say that I can't work with corporate clients or anything like that. It was fun, and just enjoying myself. And also knowing that when Nina and I had our first call, you told me things that I wasn't perhaps quite ready to hear, and that I'd been running away from, but it had been done in such a gentle and loving way that I didn't feel like bad. I didn't feel bad. So I would describe Nina's style. I always say this, but I can't think of anything that sums it up more perfectly. She gives me a gentle yet loving kick up the arse. And that's exactly what I need. Like, no bullshit, very direct, but with compassion and love.
I love that so much. So now share with everybody, what are some of the things that have transpired for you since working with me?
Paying clients, baby. Which is exactly what I wanted. It's exactly what I wanted. And it was in a way that I could hold it. And what I mean by that is, as coaches that are being coached, we are so ambitious, and we have big achievements and big dreams and big visions. And we're so focused on this huge goal and how to get there, that I needed I could see, like, at the top of the ladder, this is where I want to get to, this is where I'm going to get to if it kills me. But then I couldn't see the rungs on how to get there, the little steps on how to get right to the top. And that's what I was really struggling with. I knew it was possible, but I didn't know how. And that's been one of the biggest things, of being able to hold a bigger and bigger container, and expanding it, rather than starting off with a huge container and asking myself, why can't I fill it with all the clients that I want?
Amazing. And what about your personal transformation? Like, how do you feel about yourself? Where are you at with your self-confidence? Please share, because you were sharing that you were getting into a cycle of self-doubt. So where are you at with all of that now?
Oh my God, through the roof. I have so much trust in the process, and my goal, that I've let go of a lot of that anxiety. I think one thing that I've learned is that the work that you do, the effort from the work that you're doing, materializes, and it becomes apparent in a 3-month cycle. And so I'm trusting that the work I'm doing now is going to pay off in 3 months. The work that I did 3 months ago is paying dividends now. And that's why I'm so much more confident. And it does bleed into so many aspects of your life. Again, one of the reasons I left my career was that I was one person at work, and then I was one person in my personal life, and I never really understood or appreciated how the energy bleeds into each one. No matter how much you think you've compartmentalized it, it just does not work like that. And this is why Nina kind of helped me to give myself permission for all of that, I've got to have to add also by the process of maintaining strong boundaries, but allow the fun sides of things that I always held off from for the fear of not being taken seriously. And yeah, that's why my confidence is so much better now, because I know I can deliver what people need and also have it fun and also produce results. And that's exactly what I've been wanting and not knowing how to give that.
Even your positioning sentence, that you shared at the beginning. So I remember when you first started working with me, you were like, I make a difference, but I'm not sure how I do it. So can you remember how that felt when I supported you in getting clear on what that was? Do you remember that moment of, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I do?
It was amazing. So when I started working with Nina, I had two niches in mind, and I was going back and forth and trying to bridge them together and maybe trying to see if there was a connection between them. And what I really like is there's a lot of material that Nina has that you can work through between the sessions. And it was through going through a lot of that material really helped me get clarity. And I remember that session we went through and brainstormed everything, and the line, I don't know how you do it. Like, I've seen you do it so many times with other coaches in our beautiful little group. It's just, she takes it in and then she closes her eyes and then boom, 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 just comes out with the perfect thing that just captures exactly what it is that you've had going round in your head for a while. So it was I remember I couldn't stop laughing when we said it. It just captured what I wanted to do. It captured my personality. It captured the kind of people that I want to call in. And yeah, perfect. It was perfect.
It was definitely one of my highlights working with you. I'm like, I love how much she loves it. This is actually perfect for Mandeep. So my next question, my love, is, in your opinion, does Nina's conscious sales method work?
Yes, absolutely. Do you need to hear anything else?
Well, it's for other people, right? I know that it works, but I'm like, other people obviously need to know if it works or not. And so I'd love to know, and it's going to take us thinking back a little bit, what were some of the fears and concerns that you had prior to working with me? And you've even seen some people go through these fears as well, right? Like, we've been working with each other now for a while, that you've seen other people come in and you've seen them go through the fears. So what were some of the fears that you remember you had before you started working with me, and how have they been met in the time of us working together?
It was the biggest one. I knew Nina could help me. That I was absolutely certain of. It was, I think, probably one of the biggest mindset blocks people have when it comes to things like this. It was the investment. It was the dinero. It was the money. I was like, I had no idea how I was gonna keep paying for Nina's coaching. I knew that I needed it in my life, and I just had the momentum. I'd worked out a way to make the first payment, and I was like, okay, let it go. Just trust in the universe. And you'll find a way. If you told me then that I would be still going 6 months later and finding ways to make the payments, I would never have believed you. And it's not been in the way that I thought it was going to happen. It's felt like a game of Monopoly, right? Like, you think, okay, the next month's coming, and then like you pick up a card and it's like, oh, your client has committed to re-sign with you, and then you suddenly got the next month's payment. And a lot of the stuff that I love working with Nina, the reason I love working with Nina is because although yes, the focus is on conscious sales, we also did a lot around abundance mindset, money mindset, even love mindset, all of those different things that feed into what comes out when you're coaching other people. And you just find ways. There's always a way. There's always a way. And as long as I saw that as long as I remained committed to finding a way, the way would transpire, whether it was a thought, the way that I thought it was gonna turn out or not. And more often than not, it's not the way you think it's gonna come to you.
I had someone ask me the other day, because I shared, when I invested 20 grand to work with one of my coaches and then almost 40 grand to work with another coach, and I didn't have the money lying around. And they said to me, Nina, how did you figure out the money each time the payment was due? So how would you answer that question?
I remained focused on the fact that the payment was going to be made rather than the way that it was going to be made. There were times where I really just, it's not right. Okay, so here's a funny one. And something that came out through the coaching with Nina, sometimes you forget what you actually had. I had access to finances that I'd forgotten even existed. I was like, oh yeah, I have property in another country that I'd totally forgotten about because it's in another country. And but that kind of comes out through the mindset work that you do around cash flow and finances. So it was remaining committed to the outcome, remaining committed to the goal, as opposed to being fixed on the way that you're going to make that payment.
I love that so much. Something that's never wavered with Mandeep is her own commitment. She always had, I'm going to make it work. It's going to happen. Don't know how, but it's going to happen. And that's exactly the space that I was in when I made all my payments with my mentors, which was anywhere from 2, 3, 4, 5 times more than I've ever made. I'm like, I don't know how, but I'm going to figure it out. And now you've been exercising that muscle and now you've been attracting more clients, and which is so exciting.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Next question that I have is, you're part of the group with my amazing clients. So we catch up twice a week. So what has been the value of connecting with other amazing entrepreneurs who are also on the journey with you, who are also committed and showing up?
Okay, right. So this group has been my lifeline, and I'm not saying that lightly. I'm not saying that lightly. I'm not saying this to scare you guys, but it's inevitable and you're going to come up against it. One of my biggest challenges, the better that I've got at what I do, the more confidence that I have, and the more I'm growing and leveling up every fucking day, the more alone I've become. And I deliberately choose the word alone and not lonely because I don't feel lonely at all. I don't regret any of the decisions I've made, but it's just inevitable. It is just inevitable that people fall away because your tolerance for bullshit just decreases, and what you're willing to take on naturally will decrease. And being in lockdown on top of that, can you imagine? It kind of added to that. And I really these group calls are one of the very few times where I feel like I'm with people who are speaking my language. They're as committed as I am. They're holding me accountable. They're sharing with me and I'm sharing with them. We're adding value on so many levels. And also I just so look forward to them because you're not alone. You know that you're not alone in your journey when you're starting. And it really makes me feel good now that I've been through 6 months, that I can help people who are at the beginning of their journey. And it also reinforces it in me as well. Like I say that by teaching other people, you are teaching yourself in some ways, you're reinforcing that knowledge in yourself. And you can never hear something enough times. You can never have a message said to you enough times. Every time you repeat it, you're kind of reminding yourself in some ways. So through the whole journey, that group has been my lifeline. Even the sessions with Nina themselves, and having those 3 points of connection, it adds something. If you've got questions during the week and you don't want to wait till the next session, you can contact Nina anyway in between sessions. But then this is another forum to ask and share those experiences. So just really just wish you weren't all in bloody Australia.
Don't worry, we'll have a big party soon. We'll have a big party soon. It's happening.
Yes.
It's gonna happen. So what would you say is, I've loved everything you've shared as well. I'm just like sitting here smiling. So, you know, for a lot of people have invested in events, courses, programs. So what would you say has been the biggest difference in my programs and working with me compared to what you've invested in previously?
It's tailor-made. It's not a formula, and you're not doing things that feel unnatural. And I guess, like, as with all formulas and script, like literally I've been given scripts before and it just hasn't worked for me at all. You're given right, okay, here we go. It's the Goldilocks strategy. You're given enough to move you forward, but not so much that you're overwhelmed. It's just right. It's just the right amount of information. And when I've done other courses, I'm kind of panicking, thinking, oh my God, should I be doing a group? I don't know what the hell to do with it. What do I put in that? Oh, should I be doing a program? Should I be running a live course? And you're seeing other people do things, and then, oh, what's the recent one? I did something where they talk about funnels, which just blew me away. But you're given enough to keep you progressing. You're given enough to think about, to know that, okay, at some point I'm going to think about this, but it's okay that I'm not there yet. And you can just focus on exactly the next steps, as opposed to, oh my God, this is so much information, where should I go? And you retain your style. That was one of the nicest things for me. I didn't feel like I had to be somebody that I wasn't, and I also didn't feel like I was an imposter. It was just right.
I love that. One of my newer clients that you actually met today, but she's like,
Yeah.
you know, I have a question on this and this, and I said, I will give you that information when you're there. I'm like, let's just focus on the highest paying activities right now. Just focus on 1, 2, 3, and that's it. Like, let's talk about that in a few weeks' time. So I love that. I love that analogy. So overall, what would you say is the biggest benefit of working with me?
The biggest benefit for me was,
You can share more than one if you like.
yeah, it was those times when I was having an absolute meltdown and I was not able to see the value of what I was bringing to the table. I was not able to see that within myself. There was a point where I was like, why would anyone even want to work with me? And it's, of course, the strategy is helpful. Of course, the formulas, the process, all of that, knowing that is helpful in itself. But it's that support that like every entrepreneur goes on. Pardon me. Every entrepreneur is gonna go through it. It's the highs and the lows. And of course, it's easy with the highs, right? We all know what to do to celebrate those wins and share, but it's those lows And also when you're alone and other people don't understand what you're doing and they're telling you, oh, go back to England, get yourself a job, which is their version of support. I'm currently living in Mexico, and that was the biggest thing for me, working with Nina, who's gone through the journey, and knowing that when she's saying hold in there, you're doing all the right things, keep going, I believe in you. That was one of the biggest benefits for me, knowing that when my own self-belief was lacking or falling away or disintegrating, that there was somebody there holding that for me. And believe me, I had more than one meltdown. We've shared we've shared a lot of laughs, but also a lot of tears as well.
Which is, like you said, it's just a part of being an entrepreneur. Like, it's literally inevitable. Working with a mentoring coach just accelerates the process for you and condenses it into a short period of time. And so if we think back to 6 months ago, if you hadn't have worked with me, how long do you think it would have taken you to be where you are now if you were to have continued trying to do it alone?
If I'm completely honest, I think I would have given up by now. If I knew how tough this was going to be anyway without a coach, I think I would have given up by now.
Oh,
I wouldn't be here.
I'm so glad that you're providing the value that you're doing. Like, Mandeep is so great at what she does, and she just empowers people so much. If you guys haven't seen her page, go and watch her lives, go do some stalking, go binge watch some of her content in her group, and you will see just, oh, what's happening to the internet? Are you still there? There we go. Go and binge watch some of her stuff, and you will see just how valuable it is. Can you still hear me? I feel like the internet's being a bit staticky. Can you hear me okay?
It's dropping out a little bit. I hear you again. It's become a little bit unstable from turning to get more light, perhaps. But we're back.
Yes. So, Mandy, what would you say to someone who is sitting on the fence? Like, should I connect with Nina? Should I not connect with Nina? Should I have a conversation with her? I've watched some of her stuff. What would you say to that?
Do it right now. Do it right now. There is literally 10 minutes or an hour of your time. And even in that, like, she will add value. She just will add value. Even if you decide not to work with her, you will get something out of that call. I can guarantee that.
Amazing, my love. So what is possible for you now? 6 months down the track, six months of us working together. What do you see that's possible for your life now and your business that you didn't see before?
How I'm going to get to my vision. I had the vision. I was here. It was the bit in between that was so scattered and so clear and just like totally overwhelming me. It's the roadmap, knowing how I'm going to get there, and knowing that when I have those blips, there's somebody to catch me and reminds me that there's a bigger mission in all of this. And just having proximity, I was meant to add as well, like, having proximity is so powerful. Having proximity to a network of people like this, it literally is life-changing. You absorb so much information even when you're not, actively, when you don't think you're doing it actively, passively. You just absorb so much by the being in sheer proximity of this amazing group.
Thank you, my love. So if there are there any last things that you want to share, that you want to say before we wrap up?
Just thank you to you. Seriously, for having such compassion in those moments. I've even come into a session and thought, you know what, Nina's gonna kick my ass because I wasn't able to work something out, or, you know, in the very early days, or because I didn't make as much progress as I thought I was going to, or as much as I wanted. And she just knew exactly what to say and work out the problem and focus on getting through the problem, rather than, you know, I think a lot of us in this space are really hard on ourselves. We're really ambitious and we're really hard on ourselves. And that's why, like, it's amazing when someone's holding that space. So thank you so much for being there through all the tears and tantrums. And just pushing me to a level that I couldn't. There are things that I'm doing now that I could not see myself doing at this time, at this point in my career. So thank you.
My pleasure. It's honestly been so much fun working with you. It's just easy, it's just fun. You show up, you're committed, like literally hashtag solar line client. Like just it's supposed to feel like this with everyone, right? So yes, thank you so much for trusting yourself. Thank you so much for trusting me. Thank you for trusting in the process. Thank you for fucking backing yourself, because it's so fucking scary. I get it. But yeah, I want to thank you for your work. And, you know, it's just the beginning. Mandeep's going to be coming on board in the Institute of Conscious Sales. So you guys are going to be seeing lots and lots and lots of Mandeep. So please, guys, if all of this is resonating, go and follow Mandeep. Go and watch some of her videos. Fuck off some of that culture conditioning that we don't need. And please don't hesitate to reach out. Have a conversation. We can just have a chat. All right. Thanks, guys.